All right, how's it going? I'm that ginger photographer. I've had a bit of a love-hate relationship with Fuji over the last year and a half. I love them because I've took this X-T3 on holiday with me and it's produced some of my favorite pictures that I've ever taken. And I hate them because I really wanted the X100V and just can't get it. They can't keep up with the supply and demand. The demand's there, the supply's not. So the price just keeps going up, which is the reason why I bought this X-T3. But I am a complete Fuji noob. This is the first time that I've ever really used this camera properly. Taking it on holiday with me for the last 2 weeks, and I've completely fell in love with Fuji. And I'm going to go more into why in this video right now. Enjoy. So as I said like 10 seconds ago, I really wanted the X100V. I wanted a smaller, lighter, compact camera than my Canon R6. The Canon R6 is a workhorse, but it's just so big and heavy, especially when you add in some of those big lenses to it. So I wanted a camera that was just for me for when I went out. If I wanted to do street photography or just take my camera out on holiday or out for the day, I wanted something that I could just shove in my pocket, lighter, more compact and cool looking. Couldn't get the X100V, so I got this, the Fuji X-T3, and I've got to say I'm absolutely in love with it. It does exactly what I want. I know it's a little bit of an older model now, but I got this second hand off mpb.com and totally worth the money. It's incredible, has its flaws. It doesn't have its flaws. I have flaws. The camera's fine. I have flaws, which I got over, and I'll get more into that in a little bit. But I just want to talk about why, firstly, I fell in love with this camera. So got the 23mm lens with it because I think it's a nice little focal length that it replicates around the 35mm on a full frame sensor, and I just think that's a really nice focal length. It's nice and wide when you need it to be wide, but also you can move in with a 35 and get some nice close-up images too. Not talking macro, I'm not an idiot, but yeah, you can move in closer if you want to take portraits or nice pictures of your kids and stuff. Make sure they're your kids, that'd be weird. But yeah, you can get some really nice images at that focal length, and for what I've had, as you can see in these images, I think it's beautiful. The first thing I'd done was put this little mist filter on there, which is tiny but was still an absolute fortune, and I think that's produced some lovely results as well, where it's kind of blown out the highlights, added that a bit of haze to the highlights. I think it's really enhanced a lot of the images, and I would definitely recommend getting one of those. I've got one of those on my Canon R6 lenses. I've got one on here. I'm just going to continue to buy them at different strengths as well. This is the weakest one you can get, and I think those results are just really nice, but it'd be nice to experiment with some of the stronger ones as well. The next thing I'd done was I created a preset on the camera, which I just think is amazing. That's mind-blowing. That I shot both RAW and JPEG, and I put a Kodachrome 64 preset on there and I baked it straight on my images, and I just think the results are lovely from that as well. It's a little bit of an older sensor on this camera, so I got that recipe from Fuji Weekly website. Some of the settings weren't there, the options weren't there to add like the blue settings, whatever they were, but I still think it works really well. I'm sure you guys on your little X100Vs are buzzing, but I couldn't get one, could I? So fuck you. So as you can see in a lot of these images, I'm an amazing photographer, but also the camera's amazing as well. I mean, I just press a button on it in all honesty, but some of these images are just the most favorite, best pictures that I've ever taken. I hope you agree. I hope you don't think they're shit, otherwise you'll just think I'm shit. But honestly, favorite pictures I've ever taken. There is a bit of sentimental value there, don't get me wrong. I'm not blind to that as well. I know it was like a great holiday, so I'm going to be buzzing over every picture anyway because it's just going to take me back there. But I think you'd gladly have some of these on your wall as well, wouldn't you? Don't lie. Yeah, you would. One thing that was annoying about this camera was that it set off every single alarm when I went through security, when I went through a scanner. The metal on it, because I chose the hipster model, just set off every alarm. But I think it looks cool, so I'll live with those decisions. I know I said it had flaws earlier. I didn't mean it. I've got flaws, but I do think it took a little bit more getting used to than I was going to expect, in all honesty. Having the aperture on the lens here, having the ISO here, having the shutter speed here as dials rather than on the back of the camera, which is what I'm used to. It is what it is. That's how the camera is set up. That's not a flaw on the camera. That's just a flaw on me. Just expecting Fuji to bend to my will, but no, they didn't do it. They changed how I would have had it, but yeah, whatever, Fuji. And once I got used to those settings, yeah, I was away with it. I did I did keep forgetting to change the aperture, so a lot of my pictures are at f2.8 just because maybe the night before I'd been shooting at 2.8 because obviously it was dark and needs a little more light in. So then the next day I wasn't changing it, which looking back I probably would have done if I'd have realised that the aperture was so wide open, but what can you do when you're used to Canon? All in all though, very much in love with this camera now. 18 days of pure pleasure with this X-T3. Loved it so much that I am willing to now invest in another lens for it. What? Yeah, that's right. Gonna buy another lens for it. Gonna buy something like a 50 or a 85, see what this bad boy can do at a bit more of a zoomed in focal length. Very excited to use it on holiday more, very excited to take it for days out, throw it in a pocket. It's not as compact as I would have liked. I know I keep saying throw it in a pocket, but it's got to be a big fucking pocket, let's be honest. I do have a little satchel which was nice to throw it in, but you couldn't get much more else in there with this. Maybe a pair of sunglasses, maybe some sunscreen because I'm ginger. Tell you what I do love, even though you didn't ask. I love that it's just a normal looking camera, and doing street photography with it out there was just so much easier because I struggle with it anyway, because I think everybody's looking at me thinking, what's that ginger guy doing? But with this, it's just a normal looking camera. No one batted an eyelid. Nobody was bothered. I could shoot low as well. I could shoot from the hip, just knock this out like that. And I just think it was just so much easier, and I was much more comfortable doing a bit of street photography with this. One thing that I was really buzzing about was the security guard got it out my bag when the alarm went off, and he was like, whoa, you don't see people using proper cameras anymore. And I was like, oh, cheers, mate. And that kind of made my day as well, because I knew I'd gone for the aesthetics rather than what I can deliver, and it paid off. So I'm very excited to try the X100V. Hopefully going to borrow one of those off a mate soon. I'm sure that I will love this more because I own this and I won't own the X100V. So when I give him it back, I'll have to be like, yeah, shit, that man's better. Whatever the outcome is, I won't lie to myself. I'll lie to him, but I won't lie to myself. Anyway, let me know what lens you think I should get for this X-T3, and I'll see you in the next video. I love you loads. I hope you love my pictures. Bye.